about?
Hello and welcome to Talking About. I'm John Griffith.
I'm Cara Kilda.
And I'm JC Alvarez. And we're joined today by one of our favorite guests,
Yes.
Charlie the Matchmaker.
Okay.
Welcome.
How are you?
Thanks for coming back, Charlie.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I mean, it's like, you know, it's that time
It's
of
my
the month.
it's my time of the year, baby.
I thought you were going to say it was your time of the month.
That's for you.
I know.
You keep saying I get prettier, but I'm not getting that pretty.
You must be like really busy right now because, I mean, with it being that time
Really
of the
busy.
year.
Yeah, time of the year. I'm doing it all, babe. I'm hosting the gay speed datings every couple weeks. I once a month do my singles mingles, where the first Sunday of every month you can join me at Bartini along with New York's most eligible gays and lesbians.
And your success rate is like still astronomically amazing because, I mean, Charlie the Matchmaker has a divine gift. He's able to.
He does.
He's able to put everyone
JC,
together.
you're making me
with-
blush.
Well, you know, you've got that amazing way of putting people together.
I've got a knack.
Except for me.
Oh, you're a tough
Oh,
cookie.
please.
If anybody would like to date JC, please contact me at charliethematchmaker.com. Thank
He's
you.
not my pimp.
No.
It's just,
You know,
we make that clear.
I'm glad you made that clear because I've had to tell everybody, no, I am not a madam. I am not a pimps. I have to like get a pimps. I am not a pimps. Where'd that come from? I'm a matchmaker. Everybody in my database, I have 4 databases now, by the way. I've got the gay, I've got the lesbian, I've got the straight man, I've got the straight woman.
So I can
wow.
actually pick from any one of those categories.
No, no, no,
You're
no.
big.
You got to stay in your own oink, oink,
Oh,
oink to
okay.
you.
I just
Got to
wanted-
stay in your.
I just want.
The straight woman. You're the
You
straight woman.
understand
Thank you,
your
John.
own problem.
Yeah.
I get confused.
And the lesbians, they're starting to come finally.
Are they?
Yeah.
Well, good for them.
Oh my gosh. I had, and
Their confidence is
you know what
building.
I've learned? You guys travel in packs. Yes.
Really?
Yes. I had a meeting with one last week, and I'm thinking, oh, this is going to be nice. It's one-on-one, because that's what I do.
Right.
She
I
brought
get to
her
know all of
pen.
my, everybody in my database one-on-one. A gaggle of them. A gaggle. It ended up being a table read.
They wanted to make sure it was all on the up and up.
They wanted to make sure that it was a safe space for their friends.
Yeah.
And they all came out of their VW van.
Well,
Did any of them leave dream catchers behind?
you
Oh,
are
great.
a hoot.
Well, speaking of lesbians, John, because
Crock
there was
pots.
something in the news happening that you wanted to bring up regarding Ellen, which is very important.
Oh, yes.
Speaking of lesbians,
Well,
Exactly.
Isn't she the queen?
she's the queen, I'm the token on this show.
The leader of the pack. You're much more than that.
Leader of the pack.
but there's a little bit of controversy with
Well-
with Ellen right now.
Right. Ellen has been associated with JCPenney as a spokesperson, and
That's why I shop there, because of Ellen.
Oh, I was gonna say.
and the haters are talking boycott.
Isn't that amazing? It's like on the grounds of what? Because their the spokesperson for JCPenney
Is a vegetarian.
She's a lesbian.
I mean, it's like, does that? It's almost like, are they now going to boycott CoverGirl because she's also spokesperson for CoverGirl?
Right.
I don't understand how people can continue to perpetuate these hateful or
Oh,
hate
they're
imagery.
bored. They're bored.
They don't have anything better going on in their lives, if you ask me.
I just saw something on Huffington Post about whether I scanned it, so this is going to come out disjointed maybe, but that there was a scientific study done that it is true that conservatives are dumber than liberals, and that no, really, like
The
I'm being-
IQs are.
Yes, their IQs are lower, and that's why they grasp on to things that are easy to.
You mean like
know,
Fox News?
Sure.
Yeah.
There, I said
Absolutely.
it. And while we're on that subject, I mean, do enough people really shop at JCPenney to be boycotted anyways?
Well, I just
I haven't been there in decades.
I just
I think
think
it's actually, it might end up being good publicity for them.
right.
For Jacques Panay.
Well, because now people who want to be, they want to go against the grain or they want to make a statement, they're going to go out and.
Mom, I'm gonna be a rebel. I want to go to JCPenney this weekend at the mall. Can I have $20? I'm gonna buy socks.
That's just me.
But I mean, it seems like there's just one boycott after another. I mean, look at what happened a short while ago with Girl Scout cookies.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Oh,
that was
that little bigot that was like.
But you know what? They're evil little people anyways.
Well,
selling
I'm
those
surprised that no
cookies.
one.
I was a Girl Scout. I
Yeah,
sold
but
cookies.
selling those cookies to people that try to stay skinny, that's just wrong.
Oh, I indulged myself on those cookies.
You know what I
Those
did
cookies
though?
are good.
This year I bought a whole bunch. I bought like one of every kind and sent them to the troops.
Oh, I thought you were saying. I thought you were telling me some people you hate.
No.
People you, people you dislike.
Girls, call me next year. Got a new, yeah,
Well, I mean, it's a great snack for your Super Bowl
nice.
party.
Yeah,
I think so. I think
I like
so.
to give back.
Are you gonna be watching the Super Bowl?
The Super Bowl?
Is that the sporting event with Madonna?
Is that Madonna's party?
Yes, absolutely.
No, I'm not gonna watch that shit.
You're not going to watch the Super Bowl.
No,
you know
girl.
it is the highest. It's the highest rated, most watched show on television. It draws in worldwide. It draws in like 84 million people.
I don't have TV.
That many people watch basketball? I just don't. Wow.
Sweetie, it's bowling.
Well, what I want to know is because some people have called this controversial.
Go Giants.
Exactly right. Exactly. Is it controversial that Madonna is performing at the halftime show? Do you think that there's an audience, or do you think it's just a fantastic marketing scheme of hers?
It's a marketing scheme to get the gays to
All
watch
around.
sports.
All around.
Yeah, all around. Actually, my best friend in LA, his father called him up and said, "Do you want to go to like the Super Bowl with me?" And he's like, "What?" He goes, "I can't even remember the last time I watched football. Why would you ask me that?" He's like, "Well, Madonna's performing."
And his whole
He's like,
funny.
he's like, "Isn't that your leader?"
oh.
I was like,
no.
And he was like, "Excuse
He
me,
was
no,
try-
Lady Gaga."
he was trying to be a supportive gay father, you know?
yeah.
And it's like,
Lady
yeah. I always
Well,
wondered what you were going to do.
it's going to be very interesting to see, because I mean, it's like even she has said that she's very nervous about the forum that this is giving her. So
She's nervous.
yeah,
Well,
She's lying.
Well, how
He's
often,
never nervous.
you're so cynical.
aside from this
Madonna.
particular studio, how often is a set built, performed on, and struck
Right.
within a matter of minutes?
Absolutely, for something as big as Madonna,
Right.
As elaborate.
Perform it, yeah. I think the last time that a gay icon performed at the Super Bowl, aside from the Black Eyed Peas last year,
They're not a gay icon.
Fergie, is a huge gay icon.
She's delicious.
Thank you, Charlie. But when Diana Ross did it, does anyone remember that debacle? Well, she was
No.
actually taken off the stage. She flew off the stage in a helicopter.
What?
You don't remember that?
No.
Google it. YouTube it.
When was that? In the 80s?
Google that in your iPad.
YouTube Diana
my-
Ross at the Super Bowl, exiting the Super Bowl.
This is the original iPad. I'm just saying.
But isn't that also where Janet had her malfunction?
No.
they're-
Nipplegate was actually
That was Super Bowl.
that was a Super Bowl, but how many years ago was that?
That was
Like 2 or
within
3
the last
years ago?
decade.
Well, I also think that was one of those manipulated things.
Oh, very manipulated.
I will not be
It,
manipulated
wa-
by the
it was
media.
it was manipulated.
Ah, very good.
I'm witty that way.
Very good.
You are.
Very good. Yeah,
You're a gem.
absolutely. Absolutely. And do any of you still feel manipulated by the Republicans and what's happening now with Florida with the front runner, which is Mr. Romney is winning?
Man, Mr.
I don't feel manipulated by those people at all.
No.
No.
Are we at all worried about the state of things?
no.
Or
All
are
he
they
has to do is
crumbling?
keep speaking.
Yeah. If that group of people keep talking, they're just going to bury themselves. I'm not really.
No, but wait, you guys, if you're watching this and you want Obama, if you think Obama's just going to have a landslide, no.
No.
Vote.
Right.
Get
Go
out there and vote.
Right.
Yes,
and
you
that's
have to.
I think that's why constantly here at the table
Yeah.
when we've been doing table talk, we've been stressing the
Yes. If you don't
help
vote,
me
you don't
out
have a
here.
right to
Yes.
complain.
Yes, we've been stressing the
Either way.
political issues because I personally do feel that that's one of the things a lot of us don't go out and vote. So many Americans sit that day out thinking
No,
that someone
I
else is going to make that
always
decision
do.
for them.
We have to as Americans. And I'm even on Obama.com, so he emails me like every other day.
Does he?
Michelle will email me. She's like,
Stop
Charlie, how you
it.
doing? Go vote, girl. I'm like,
Stop-
all right.
Stop eating this.
They
or
send
stop
me
eating
Christmas
that.
cards. Doesn't everybody get Christmas
Dear
cards?
Michelle,
We try.
your arms are amazing. Love, Charlie.
Yeah. The hair we can tweak a little bit, but love those arms. Oh God. Wait.
Well,
Are they gonna fly in and like take me out of here?
what's the website where she finds you at?
CharlieTheMatchmaker.com, and I can be followed on Twitter at CMatchmaker. And if anybody wants to email me, it's easy. It's Charlie@CharlieTheMatchmaker.com.
Not that he's easy, but
No.
No,
He
for
is a
easy.
married man.
I'm a married man, 21 years. I'm the matchmaker that can find you
And
a
they're
man
still
and help him.
together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, yeah.
You guys have no idea how cute this man really is in person. He's a vampire. He keeps getting younger and younger.
Stop. Stop. You're going to make me
that's
blush.
great. Well, thanks so much for joining
Thanks for
us.
having me, guys.
Thank you.
Anytime. You're always
Thanks for
welcome.
having me.
Thank you.
Love you.
Okay, and now we've got something very special for you to look at. So we're gonna take a look at that and stay tuned.
Give yourself up to the music. Give yourself up. Give yourself up. Give yourself up to the music.
Hi, I'm JC Alvarez. You're watching Talking About.
I'm Cara Kilduff. Welcome.
Hi.
Hi.
How you doing?
I think we just got caught like being familiar with each
I
other.
know we're like looking
Hi.
at each other's. We were totally like looking at each other's shoes.
Yeah, shoes.
Well, I'd rather be looking at Adam Barta.
Yeah, welcome.
Yeah.
You do have cute shoes. I told you.
I love your iPad, by the way.
Thanks. It's my
I'm
iPad.
gonna go buy one.
They're really cheap.
It's you
It's
can get one for-
refurbished.
It's refurbished. It's an iPad 2.
It's like mine. It's like mine. Adam, thank you for coming back.
Yeah, my pleasure.
We were actually watching Adam's video for his latest single,
Give yourself
which you performed with a music legend. With
Miss Kathy Sledge, the lead singer of Sister Sledge.
how freaking amazing is that?
How did that happen?
It's actually funny. We have a mutual agent, and he introduced us, and we had lunch, and we just had this great chemistry. But the most surreal moment of that whole experience, has been, we were in the studio and we're writing the song, and we're going through, and Kathy's like, I want to see how we sound together. Let's just try and harmonize. And she starts singing "We Are Family," and I'm like, all right, I'm sitting next to the woman who sings "We Are Family," harmonizing with her.
And
This
not
is
the
really
remix.
weird. No, not
The
the
real
actual
version.
original version from it was amazing. So I was just kind of blown away.
That must be for you as a pop musician. That must be like one of those like aha moments.
It was.
Did you feel intimidated?
I was, but she's such a sweet woman, and she's so nurturing. She's almost become like an aunt to me. So it's kind of like she took me under her wing, and and she's so easy to work with. She makes me sound better. So it's like it's an artist's dream to work with somebody like that, and especially of that caliber.
That's really cool.
The video was actually shot in a very famous Jersey landmark.
At Paradise in
Paradise.
Asbury Park, the
Yes.
Empress Hotel,
Yes.
and we
a lot
had
of
some.
gays go there.
Oh yeah.
There are lesbians too,
Oh,
gays and
jeez.
lesbians, and there's straights too.
And he's also got a bunch of famous people in the video. Celebrities are in the video.
Oh, famous people. Oh, I know what those are.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
I read those
Yeah.
newspapers
Yeah.
and magazines.
So that must have been a fun shoot, to get everyone corralled in together.
It was, and they were so easy to work with. We had, Kim G. Am I allowed to say the name of the
Yeah,
show?
I've heard she's easy.
She's hilarious. But I love Kim from Housewives in New Jersey, and we had Jack McEnroth. I'm name dropping, but it's my video, so I can do that. And we
Please
had,
name drop.
Robin Castner from Millionaire Matchmaker, Miguel Allure, who's filming, actually wrapping now the new season of Jersey Licious. He's going to be on that, and we had Tone Tone from Cake Boss, and we're actually doing a new video, which I know we're going to seg into, but and we're having some new surprise reality
So
guest stars
it was
now.
like a reality show smorgasbord, your video.
It was funny, actually. TMZ wrote a really funny. They broke the video, and it was kind of insulting, but everybody took it in good humor. It was like reality stars unite for a D-list "We Are the World" music video.
Oh no!
But it was kind of funny though, because they said the song was great, and it was in good humor. So I guess and it was funny. I'm probably the only person I tell people this story that called up their mom when they were on TMZ and was like, "I'm on TMZ," and my mom was like, "Yay."
Oh, it's like, and it's one of those like, oh geez.
Yeah, no, it was like I was actually proud of it.
At least your mom was like, "What's TMZ, dear?"
No, please. She calls me up when I'm on TV, and it's like, "You're on Logo, you're on HBO, you're on this, you're on."
So that's great. You've been really keeping busy with all these projects. You have a new song coming out?
Yeah, a new song, which actually is funny. It's the song I performed the first time I was on here. We finally decided to release it. It's called Q&A, and we're actually in the process of shooting the music video now, and it's much different from, as people of the show might remember, it's more R&B mid-tempo song. So the video is going to be much more artistic, kind of, than a dance video.
Well, you're going to perform a song for us now, right?
I am, and I'm actually going to do, and I want your feedback on this, and all your feedback, all you guys. It's a new version of Give Yourself Up, or a different version that was never released. So it's a treat. Nobody's heard this before, and hopefully you guys like it.
Awesome. Well, carefully take your step over to the performance stage as we properly introduce Adam Barta, who's going to be performing a new version of his song for us.
Fantastic.
I know, it's going to be great. I'm so excited.
You look so cute tonight.
Oh, you look cute. But Adam looks cuter.
Shut
my head, it's the melody that's haunting me, yeah. Take my hand tonight, we're free. The dance floor calls tranquility. I'm gonna let my body go. I want the music to move my soul.
It's a tonic remedy. I feel the music.
Moving all the systems in me. Give yourself up, give yourself up, give yourself up to the music. Give yourself up, give yourself up, give yourself up to the music. Throw your bodies in the air, there's a party up in here. Make it hot, make it pop, and give it up. Give yourself up, give yourself up, give yourself up to the music. I think we're close to the break of dawn.
But the music draws me on and on and on.
Tonight I lost my heartache and pain. The music's power is too great.
It's a place where your body goes
To have the music cure your soul. It's a shot of a memory.
I feel the music moving all the senses in me.
Give yourself up, give yourself up, give yourself up to the music. Give yourself up, give yourself up, give yourself up to the music. Give yourself up. Ha. Give yourself up. Give yourself up. Give yourself up to the music. I wanna surrender to it. Tonight we'll feel good in this place. I wanna surrender to it. The dance floor's calling out my name. Throw your body in the air. Give yourself up. Give yourself up. Give yourself up. Give yourself up to the music. Give yourself up. Give yourself up to the music.
That was great. That was Adam. That was I like that one a lot more. That one just has a more up tempo, more beat to it.
Oh, thank you. Well, now I need Kathy to come back and do it with me for next time I want.
You know, we definitely would love that. That'd be so fantastic. Can you quickly tell people where they can find your music?
They can check me out. Actually, I'm promoting my Twitter, twitter.com/Adam_Barta. So people can go there and all my info is on there.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming back.
Thank
it's always
you.
a pleasure
Thank
to
you.
have
That
you.
was awesome.
And the music's going to keep coming. Right now, taking our stage is LALA.
Everybody. Here's a little song for you. It's called Never Forget You. You might have heard of it. Oh, yeah. Ooh. I saw you through the flashing light. Something about you caught my eye. Oh, I couldn't go another night. Yeah. So now you like my favorite song. I keep you playing all night long. I'll dance until we fly. I love you till the day I die. Now I can never forget you. No matter how I try, I can never forget you. Yeah, 'cause this love I can't deny. Yeah, whoa. No matter how I try, I can never forget you. Whoa, 'cause this love I can't deny. I can never forget you. Forget you out my mind. Oh, I can never forget you. Get you out my mind. Oh, I can never forget you. I can never forget you. Come on now. I can never forget you. I can never forget you. On Talk About This. Talk about this, talk about this, talk about this. Yeah!
Hi, I'm JC Alvarez.
I'm Cara Kilduff.
Welcome back to Talking About. And now taking our couch is none other than Lala.
Hello.
Have a seat, darling.
She's not gonna take it. She's gonna sit down. She's gonna leave
Or she's
it.
gonna need to sit down after that amazing number. Tell us a little bit about your musical process, because you've been performing. You've been performing for a while now and really getting your music out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's
Because you have a very unique little backstory, young lady.
thank you.
Tell us where you're from.
I'm originally from Vancouver, Canada.
She's an import.
Yeah! Woohoo!
But
Blame it on
you've been
Canada.
here so long that you're practically a New Yorker.
Yeah. Yes, I would definitely say that. New York is much far dear to my heart than Canada. I'm sorry.
What?
But it is. I love New York, and New York rocks, and this is the place to be. And there's just so much great music out here, and great inspiration, great talent, and great producers and artists.
But you've been performing for a while.
Yes,
you
I
actually,
have.
When you were performing, your roots were more hip-hop based?
Yeah, I started with like R&B, singer-songwriter R&B, and I just love songwriting and singing, and then I kind of switched to dance because R&B and hip hop was very it had a certain market, and I just felt really hard fitting in that market.
Okay.
So-
do you think it was because of your culture?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I am Asian, by the way, and we don't all look alike. Thank you.
Well, you're a beautiful concoction of various cultures.
Yes. I have East Indian background. My parents were born in India, so I speak Hindi and I speak Cantonese.
But wait, did you pick up a Canadian accent, eh?
No.
Oh, damn! I was hoping.
She wanted to practice her Canadian
Now I wanted to
accent.
bust your chops, but
And then you immersed yourself in New York City and really took to the dance scene here. Right?
Yeah, it's just it's and then getting introduced to the LGBT community was just absolutely mind opening and just a wonderful experience. I just continued writing and singing.
So
and
many artists
performing.
say that they say that when they get immersed into the club culture here and they start singing and songwriting and really getting out to the clubs, that the gay community is the first one that sort of like embraces them. Was that your experience?
That was definitely, I felt so embraced by the LGBT community, especially after coming out of the R&B hip hop community. So there was a huge difference right there.
People nicer to you.
Oh, they're so much nicer to me. They really are.
It was the shoes.
Those are hot.
Those are
Look,
hot.
they match my shirt.
Those are, yeah, they do. You're all ensemble.
I was afraid that she was gonna. I thought you might have fallen like when you were performing. I was like, oh no.
Oh,
But
she
no.
knows what she's doing.
now she gonna handle her
That's
stuff.
okay. That's okay. I won't be a Beyonce. I won't fall.
Yeah, she's you know, she knows how to work them heels. I bet you know how to work them heels.
Stop. I'm just wearing
She does.
sensible shoes.
She
This is about Lala.
I'm not gonna admit it, but I can work those heels.
Just
JC could work those heels for real though.
For reals.
It's about you right
It
now.
is about you.
Your
You-
teeth
Thank
are
you.
so white.
Yes, you have some great new music coming out, don't you? I mean, it's like right now you're promoting a lot of the tracks from your last album,
right.
which
The
are
song that I
available-
sang.
available on Digital
The,
Let
so-
Down Alone.
the song that I sang was Never Forget You, and it came out 2 years. It charted on Billboard, and I was very happy about that. And then, you know, it's really hard to continue sometimes, but I am continue writing, and I have a couple of songs that I am, you know, actually one song is going to be released in Brazil. There's an independent Brazil dance label.
Right.
And another one that I wrote, collaborated with a very great producer in Poland.
Wow.
So that's coming out. I mean, I'm sort of, you know, doing a lot of Euro dance right now.
Yeah,
So
it's what's in, right?
it's great too.
It's what all the kids are listening to.
It's, you know, it's great music. It's just good music. So,
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
but I'll be performing at Splash March 1st.
Yes, you are. You're coming to perform at Splash. That's right. We can't forget that. So that's where all the gays can come out to Splash and see Lala hit
It's
it.
campus night.
Now you have a website,
Yes, it's lalathemusicartist.com.
and that's where you can follow a lot of the music that Lala is working, all her appearances, and what she's going to be up to. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so
I
very
mean,
much.
it's just so
Good luck
great when
to
we
you.
have an opportunity to really, really get an artist in here that is making an impact on the scene and making some really, really great new music.
I'm really jujubee, really.
You
Did I
don't
say
even-
I'm not.
No, because then people. No, she's a real girl. She's a real girl. Jujubee's great. She's one of my favorites.
You can wonder. It's open to interpretation. Talk about
I
it.
know. 'Cause it's almost like really good press. Like, you know, is she or isn't she?
Right.
Yeah.
Do the Gaga thing.
Interesting. Interesting. You
Whatever.
collaborated with some really great producers on your album.
Which one?
On the last album, on La La Land was the name of the last album, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, you worked with some really great producers on
Yeah.
that album. Yeah.
And actually with I really wanted to work with Shep Pettibone when I met him, but you know.
It can happen. You never know.
I gotta go back and say hi to him.
There's connections, so it's like, you know, magical things happen here at Talking About.
Good.
I think so.
Because Charlie was here, so it's magical.
Yes, Charlie the matchmaker
Charlie was
makes
amazing.
makes things happen and stuff like that. Yeah. Sometimes what I like to ask, without prying too much, is, are you in love?
No. Thank God.
See, I'm not alone.
Sorry, Charlie.
Charlie, you've got some work to do here.
Well, I mean, it's like, you know, but does that play into you as a songwriter? Like, you know, when you're feeling a certain way, does it influence the music that you're creating?
I think for me it's more wishful thinking.
Which is very romantic and can be very like. You
No,
know,
it's really wishful
very-
thinking. It's
yeah.
like, you know, I would love to have a certain situation where it's like I could, you know, handle both.
Yeah.
And, you know, as an artist, it's hard because, you know, hours and
Oh, yeah.
lifestyles and
Oh, girl.
right? Why are you dressed like that?
Oh, yeah. That's when I'm like, why?
oh no, you can't be with somebody that's like
you
that.
can't-
I know.
No, you can't.
No,
That would never happen to a pop star.
No.
No, never happened to a pop star. Never happened to a pop star. Lala will be performing at Splash in March 6th, correct?
March 1st.
March 1st.
That's Thursday.
That's a Thursday night at
time?
Splash. That's campus.
Midnight,
That's campus Thursday nights at Splash.
Yes.
Yeah, that's that's a hot night.
Woo!
Woohoo! Got to come out to support her and to see her and catch some of her music. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank
It's
you.
always a pleasure to have you here. And now taking the stage, we have returning guest, Brett Gleason.
Well, figure this out. If no one knows you're sick, It's your job to let them know. The fever came on slow. Explosion came before the flames got thrown through the revolving door. If you think you're paralyzed, it's just the mirage. The broken man who broke all his bones. Destruction was beautiful. Cold grays and reds planned to burn like the sunset we're sinking to invisible means, but my lies are so far away. My paintings will fade someday, and I'll sound the siren, and I'll wave the flag of serenity. Just spit out what your eyes were too large to see, and indulge my desire to steamroll right over you. Don't need you here to help clean up this mess. Destruction was bountiful. Spent the days away in a deep and dark, diluted haze. We saw this bitter irreverie, anything but feeling cope or deal with what is real. Obstructions that I put in my way, so long as I'll have something about which to complain. Destruction distracts, but fills no holes in the soul you cracked, and obstructions detract from cleaning up this mess you have. The war zone's not beauty's home. Just turn your back and leave it alone.
Welcome.
Hey, JC.
Brett,
Glad to
good
have
to
you back.
see you. Have a seat.
And we're going to give you the handheld mic. Special cameo by Kara.
Oh, look at that. Testing.
having
1, 2,
issues.
3, testing.
Hi.
Thanks for coming back.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
It's always nice having you here.
As always.
So, new song.
Yeah, I just played Destruction. It's going to be my new single off of my next EP. Right now, I'm just offering it on my website, brettgleason.com, but you can also get it free on my Facebook page. So,
What
do
are
that.
some, what are some of the because I mean, as an artist, you're very, very different from a lot of people within the genre, and I oftentimes wonder, especially after listening to your music, the things that inspire you as a writer.
Sure. Well, you know, a lot of times it's sort of internal struggles. Usually in my songs, I sort of present myself with an argument, and there are two sides, and I try to play out each side equally. So very rarely is there a resolution, but there's always a good conflict.
It's great that music has that therapeutic effect, that it really, you know, it allows you to really emote.
Sure.
A lot of this conflict.
In language, everything is black and white. It's always about dualities. It's this or it's that. But, you know, emotions don't work that way. Emotions are more complex, and reality is more complex. So, you know, songs are a good way to sort of fill in the space between words.
And you dig pretty deep.
I will. Thank you. I'll take that as a compliment.
You holds no bars with your lyrics, and especially like with how complex your arrangements are. They're really quite profound.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Well, life is profound and complex, and so are we.
Absolutely. How does this one differ from The Dissonance, which is the first album, right?
Sure, yeah. The Dissonance was my first EP. Well, The Thawing is more vulnerable. It's also slightly bleak, but hopeful. It's I'd like to think that it's a little more personal, maybe a little more immediately accessible emotionally. There's a lot more piano, there's some strings. I'm really sort of trying to be a little more wear my heart on my sleeve, I suppose, is the phrase.
Okay.
So
Yeah, definitely putting it out there.
sure. Well, what's the point of making music if it doesn't really make you think and feel? I could just sing a jingle from a commercial, or
Well, that could be fun too.
Sure. I mean, those price free credit check commercials are pretty good. But anyone can do that stuff.
What comes first with your music, Brett? Is it the lyric that influences the way the song is going to sound, or do you hear more the music and then the lyric informs that?
Sort of both. They feed off of each other. I usually start at the piano. I start with a riff or an idea, and I start with a line. And you just sort of keep adding on to there. It's like the further you dig, the more things there are to dig out.
Yeah.
So it's almost never ending.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you just sort of have to decide, okay, 4 minutes, here we are. If you didn't come to a conclusion, you probably won't.
Well, and to that effect, doesn't Brett's music sound like a musical? Like when you hear it, doesn't it almost like you imagine almost like the soundtrack to a movie in your head?
Well, I'm a very visual listener, and it does inspire that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I like, I don't really follow the musical world, but I love rock operas, and I love Queen and the Smashing Pumpkins and all these larger-than-life bands that really created a sort of epic sound that would, it sort of made you feel things you didn't know you were capable of feeling, or didn't want to be capable of feeling. So, I like that sort of grandiose feel. I think that's appropriate. I think we all feel big things.
Right, absolutely. And Queen it has had that drama. A lot of those artists, which is your music is very dramatic.
Sure.
Right. You're painting. You're painting a picture with words and music, and that's an incredible gift.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing more powerful than the combination of words and music. Sound and language. It's where it all started and where it'll all end.
I always wonder, especially like because when we see you perform, it's almost as if it's a selfish treat, I think, but it's like how people respond in a sitting. They must be riveted just listening to what you're doing. Do you ever get like someone like really angry or responds really angry to something that you're doing?
No, I think the worst response I've ever gotten is indifference.
Because I would, it's like
if someone wants to riot and throw some chairs after a performance of mine, I'm all for it.
It's like sometimes like music can like really like move you in that emotional way, and your music has that very forceful. It's also very masculine. That's another way I kind of like relate to your music.
Despite being vulnerable, because my music is very vulnerable. Is that masculine?
It is, but there's also a lot of like there seems to be a lot of masculine resonance in a lot of your.
That's interesting. I feel like a lot of the best music has been written by male artists who really aren't afraid to show their vulnerable female side.
Absolutely,
I mean, think of Led Zeppelin and David Bowie and all of those artists. It was these men who could access all of the different emotions, not just the strictly masculine, and that's really what makes for a well-rounded song.
Right.
So.
Right. Well, everyone always has a very everyone attaches their own unique thing to whatever they're listening to, and that's also a great compliment to your art. That everyone's gonna have a different story or pick up something different from.
Yeah,
it.
I'm hoping for extreme responses either way.
As long as no one throws any sharp objects.
Yeah, you can use my Twitter handle at Brett Gleason to yell at me or throw things at me if I've so inspired you to.
Okay, so that's one way to reach you.
Sure. Yeah, I love social media. I'm big on Twitter. I'm on Tumblr. Facebook is the big one because I'm giving out some music through there.
Okay.
Like the track's not even up on iTunes yet, but on my Facebook page you can get it.
Okay.
Yeah, and there should be a video like in the next few days. So definitely now's the time to follow me because you will get the video first.
Wonderful.
and possibly a follow back. The Smashing Pumpkins followed me back recently, so
Oh, that's great.
just putting that out there.
That's really. I mean, it's just
Not that you're
changed.
dropping names or anything.
Well,
like
yeah, but it's just really has changed. The internet has
Sure.
so much changed the way an artist relates to the world at large. And,
Yeah.
And you know, especially now with all those rules they're trying to enforce on the internet, it must be really frustrating to like know that someone's trying to squash those things.
Who knows? Trying to protect copyright is great, but trying to connect people is sort of even more important. At least at this point in my career.
The world's
So,
getting smaller.
When I'm one of the big guys, I'll try to squash all the little guys like that, but not now.
Oh,
As long as
gosh.
when you're one of the, when you're one of the big guys, you better be on that couch again.
Oh, absolutely, for sure.
It's always great to have you here.
Yeah, thank you very much, JC. Thank you, John.
absolutely.
It's been
You're
good to be
welcome.
here.
Again, the websites.
Oh, breckgleason.com and Twitter at Breck Gleason, Breck Gleason Fan on Facebook, and Tumblr Breck Gleason Music.
Okay.
I'll see you there.
Relatively straightforward and simple.
Yeah, not trying to fool anyone.
Thank you again.
Thank you, my pleasure.
Thank you. It's always fun having you here.
And we're going to take a quick look at this, and we'll be back in just a few seconds. We're going to re-record this, aren't we?
Charlie.
Hello, you're watching Talking About It. I'm John Griffith.
I'm Cara Kilduff.
And we've got a very special guest who I think Carl wants to introduce.
Yes. Tonight we have Christian Parker from the Pride Institute joining us. Welcome, Christian.
Thank you for having me. Thanks.
Thank you for being here.
Don't be nervous. You're a vision in purple.
Okay, for those who don't know, what is the Pride Institute?
The Pride Institute is the nation's only LGBT treatment center for alcohol and drug abuse
Where is it located?
in, get ready, do the accent, Minnesota.
Oh, jeez, Minnesota, yeah. That's nice. They have a good state fair, I hear. My hairstylist tells me. Anyway,
They absolutely do. And they've been there for 25 years.
25 years. Why so specific for the queers?
Well, from my own story, I went to a straight rehab. Like, my therapist, sent me, far off to the hill country of Texas to get sober. And I was in the hill country. I was the only gay.
You were the only gay in
I
the
was
village?
the only gay in the village. Like a week and a half later, this guy from San Francisco, this other queen, flew in, and they immediately realized that we were like, oh my God, another gay, and they immediately separated us. So, I stood up for myself and said I have every right to be here and to get sober because I have the same problem that you guys are dealing with. The issue is a majority of people wouldn't stand up for themselves, and so that's why the Pride Institute has been really serving the community for so long.
That's amazing. I was looking at, when we were teeing, I was looking at the pamphlet. Did you bring that with you up on the?
I left it there, but it's probably memorized.
Oh. They had nice pictures. Well, what kind of services does the Pride Institute offer? As far as a rehab is, how does it compare to your average rehab? Is it, what makes it stand out?
It's different. When I had to go away, my therapist presented me with 3 options. It was Bellevue Hospital, Betty Ford, or this other one which Dr. Phil apparently raved about. And so most rehabs will treat an addiction very specifically. They're like, okay, well, you're coming in, we'll treat you for crystal meth addiction, alcohol abuse, or maybe trauma. And when they get out, they're back in the real world. So the thing that Pride does for the LGBT community is they treat, it's like an integrated approach to recovery, especially with gay men and the way that crystal meth is really bombarded the East Coast. What they do is they treat the sexual wellness part, the mental health part, and the abuse part, the substance abuse part, all together. Tends to be more effective in the end.
That makes a lot of sense. How did you get this gig?
It's an interesting story. My friends and I started Queer and Sober a few years ago.
And what is that?
Queer and Sober is an organization based here in New York, and they do sober events during Pride weekend, and also other events throughout the year. And basically, it was an idea that my friends and I had after going to a really bad AA dance. with like 25 people. It was just like, it's payback for every bad AA dance we've ever been to. So we did it, we kind of put our pockets together, and we rented like the Circle Line, and we like rented this big gallery, and we like hired all these designers and these creative team members to make like a real experience for people in recovery. You know, like an experience to the fact where like, when you go out in New York, especially Pride Weekend, you know, you can go to XL, you can go to Barracuda, but if you're in recovery and if you're new, you're kind of shaky.
Right.
And you're like, I want to be where everyone else is. And so what Queer and Sober does is they bring the grandness of these places and they bring it to
the
recovering community. Yeah. So it feels
Make
like
things fabulous.
make them fabulous, big, make them feel like they're not missing out.
Right. That's important.
Yeah, and it's amazing how a few years back the Clean and Sober contingent in the Pride Parade used to be the largest contingent, and unless I'm just there at the wrong time, it seems relatively invisible for the last couple of years.
It was. It dwindled actually down to like maybe 5 or 6 people. Sometimes no one would show up. Queer and Sober got involved and kind of revived that. So from 5 people in 2010 marching with no banner down Fifth Avenue, it's kind of like,
Sad.
It's sad. Okay, fine. This past year, 2011, you know, the year of gay marriage, we had over 55 people.
That's
you know,
great.
and
That's
people
great.
just kept it just kept getting bigger, and so there's an
'Cause
enthusiasm
you pick
coming
up
back.
strays along the way.
You pick up strays, and there's this enthusiasm that's happening in the city. You know, like being sober or being in recovery is not so much of a doesn't have that stigma that it might have had like 10 years ago. You know, and there's various reasons for that.
Oh, wow, you have your shit together. What's your secret?
Well, for those who are out there and watching and questioning their habits, yeah, and am I using too much? Am I drinking too much? Am I doing this too much? What are some good indicators for them that they might need a little bit of help?
Well, it depends. You know, like from my own personal experience, I was just tired of like friends talking about people behind my back. You know, I was tired of like losing jobs, losing relationships, this and that. You know, everyone defines their own bottom, if you will. Yeah. Everyone defines their own bottom, and you know, it depends. Like, there's something interesting happening on the East Coast. Crystal meth came from like California, and like 10 years ago in New York, it wasn't really that big of a deal. But now on the Eastern Seaboard, it's epidemic, and for like gay men, it's a rite of passage almost. And so the thing about like going out and dating, like back like in my uncle's a big old queen. But when he was in New York, like he would go down to like Stonewall and Maurice Crisis and the Duplex. If you wanted to go out to meet a guy, you went to a bar. But things have changed. Now it's instantly, I can do something on my iPhone. I can do something on Manhunt. And with that element, that instant gratification, there is an element of drugs for some people. And it's just so much, it's just so different. And that drug is designed to get you by surprise. So we're seeing a lot of people come into the rooms younger.
Which actually isn't, I mean,
It's not a bad thing.
No, it's not.
It's not a bad thing that they're reaching out for help. It's unfortunate that they get to a point where they need to reach out for help.
Sure, and like
that makes sense in a roundabout way.
it does. And you know, if we're getting people in the rooms younger, our goal, our objective, especially at Queer and Sober and at the Pride Institute, is to keep them interested. Because if they feel like it's boring or dull, they leave. They're like, this is pathetic, and they're out the door. So our job is to encourage them to stay, get them involved, give them a real, authentic experience, and help them have a better life. You know, it worked for me. It works for lots of people.
Well, I mean, I'm sure there are some things that some action that people need to do to take to stay sober. And you can't go to a meeting or go to meetings for a year and then, oh, miracle, yeah, I'm all better, and then walk away and just kind of skirt the system again. Because that, to me, it strikes me as a recipe for trouble. So activities such as the ones that you're providing help people to live a sober life and still find ways to enjoy yourself.
Of course, yeah.
Well, you know, you're also a really welcoming person. So for people that are new, it's like, you know, Do you have one of the cards on you?
I think I do. I think I do.
They're very jazzy
what, one of these?
people. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a great thing to get enjoy. I mean, this is great for Pride Weekend. It's fantastic.
Well, what's interesting about Pride Weekend and why we chose Pride Weekend is because, like, 3 years ago, like, I like to have a good time, regardless. I like to have a good time before I got sober, and I still like to have a good time. And, like, there's, like, I guess I have that reputation. And, like, 3, like, guys that were young called me up on, like, the Wednesday of, right before Pride Weekend, like, 2009. And they called me, and they're like, what are you doing for Pride Weekend? I said, well, I'm going to go to the AA dance. And so I think I just anonymity myself or something like that. But
I think we figured it out.
yeah. So I bring them there. We show up, and it's like it's in a cafeteria. There's like 23 people. It's dark, and there's a DJ in the corner. And the kids were like, "Is this the best you can do? This is in New York. This is what I'm going to have to be subjected to." And so, you know, I just was like, "I'm sorry. I thought you would have had a good time." Later on, my friends and I got together, and we were just talking. We're like, I don't want to go through that again. I don't want to, like, do that again. Let's do our own thing. So we kind of put our wallets together. We got on Facebook. We decided to throw a party. We weren't going to charge a dime. And we expected 50 people. We had 702.
What?
Holy moly.
702. We slapped a theme on it called the Wild West. I went on Craigslist, hired some go-go boys to make it even real, more real, and
You're good.
it worked. It worked. We just, it was amazing. And from that, we said we're onto something. The people like it. We can bring everyone together. You know, whether you're in the rooms or not. Maybe you just want to maybe you just don't like drinking. You know, you're welcome to come. You're welcome to come and have an awesome time.
Well, we were talking before. That's because I had asked you how. That was how the people at the Pride Institute were stalking you, and found out that you were behind this, and they were like, "Hey, they were smart that they got you."
Well, I'm flattered because, you know, we built this idea. This idea is now an organization, and it was built up from nothing. And the Pride Institute, all the way in Minnesota, with like 2 feet of snow, heard about it, and they contacted me. They said, what do you do? I said, well, you know, I work in fashion, and I also do creative work for Queer and Sober. They said, how would you like to work for us? I said, I don't even know what it is that you do. And so they explained to me, they said, Christian, we need someone on our team to serve as a community relations person for the Eastern Seaboard, working with families, working with employee assistance programs, working with therapists and counselors. And the beauty of it is that I get to travel from New England down to Florida, meeting with these people, working with families, helping guys out, helping lesbians out. And it's a feel-good job. It's really a feel-good job. It's amazing. I love it.
That's nice. Yeah, I can feel that. You definitely like your job.
Yeah, I mean, just to see somebody hit the milestones of success and sobriety has got to be rewarding in and of itself, just to be able to give back like that.
Sure, definitely.
To see that on a daily basis, too. That's really cool. That's awesome.
So what are some of the places where people who think they might need a little bit of help, where they can reach out to?
Reach out to your local community centers. The LGBT Center here in New York is a fabulous resource. If you're in a place like Atlanta, most big cities have an LGBT center. If not, reach out to your therapist or your counselor. You can also open the phone book and look towards the very front, and you can call a hotline, and they'll connect you.
You are a force to be reckoned with, mister.
Why?
What do you mean, why? Because you are. You're going to do lots of stuff in your life. I can feel it.
It's fun. It's fun. This is like unbelievable because I did not want to get sober when I was 23 years old. I didn't want to go to rehab. I didn't want anything. I wanted nothing to do with this. And now, like, it's come full circle. It's just...
Wow, in 2 short years, huh?
Yes, 2 short years.
Well, I mean, you're doing a remarkable job, and I'm sure that there are tons of people out there who really appreciate it. The Pride Institute website is?
www.pride-institute.com.
Okay,
And Queer and Sober is their website?
www.nycqueerandsober.org.
Very good.
okay. And there, as far as Pride Institute, are there various forms of assistance that people who want to reach out in that direction can find within the website? And find out
Absolutely.
exactly-
On the website is the admissions team, an 800 number you can call. And even if you just need to talk, just like sort some things out, like maybe you just had a rough night last night, or maybe you've had several rough nights in a row, and you just want to talk to someone, just to kind of like
Right.
clear the air.
Well, a lot of times it's easier to talk to a stranger than it is to talk to someone who you consider one of your best friends.
Exactly, exactly. And not that everyone out there in the gay community is, a potential drug addict or alcoholic. No, but 33% of the community struggles with it.
Okay.
And they're 2 to 4 times more likely to experience depression or anxiety for various reasons.
Okay, and with that, we have to close. We're just about out of time, and I really, really want to thank you for taking the time
Thank
to
you
share
so
with us.
much for
Thank
having
you
me.
for
Thank
coming.
you. Absolutely.
And I want to thank you for taking the time to share with us. My name is John Griffith,
I'm Cara Kilduff.
and we'll see you next time.